Good afternoon, good morning, depending on what part of the world you are watching this live stream or watching it later. This is an important video for any auto dealer who's running Google Ads campaigns. And let me say that this video could unlock finally for your dealership the full potential of Google Ads bidding optimization engine. And I recently published an article on LinkedIn talking about my latest research on using ASC events to optimize Google Ads. And this would be a great read after watching this video. But without any hype, I would say 8 out of 10 dealers do not have Google Ads set up properly. And by watching this video, maybe my words of encouragement will force someone in the dealership to go into Google Ads and to see what is checked as a conversion in Google Analytics. And recently, just to confuse dealers even more, Google has changed the wording from conversion events to add a new term called key events in Google Analytics. And really, this is a great thing for me as an educator because I'm trying to crack laziness, ignorance, and apathy in the way Google Ads are being configured. There is no accountability as a Google partner by Google to make sure that Google Ads are configured properly. Let me say that again. Our agency, PCG Digital, is a Google Premier partner, but Google's not looking at how we configure the Google Ads accounts for our dealers to say, hey, there's a better way. In fact, this is a common problem in automotive retail. So I want to say this again. If you're a marketing manager, a general manager, or an executive owner of a car dealership, would you please give me a few minutes to help you unlock the full potential of Google Ads? And if you are unable, unaware, or don't know where to start to fix your Google Ads problems, reach out to me on LinkedIn or social media. Just message me. It's super important. All right, let's talk about Google's recent announcement. Google recently announced that because there's confusion on what's a conversion in Google Analytics and what's a conversion in Google Ads, they've created two new terms, conversion events and key events. So let's start from the basics. An event is some action that happens on a dealer's website. So an event could be a page is loaded, a click on a button, a photo gallery swipe, a play button on a video, a lead is submitted, an application is being filled out, people moving through the navigation. Every one of those click, hover, swipes, conversion in Google Analytics has been given the name an event. The Automotive Standards Council created a standard naming convention for these events for automotive. When you go into Google Analytics, you will see events with ASC underscore. That stands for Automotive Standards Council. If you go to automotivestandardscouncil.com, you can download free the specification that lists all these names. There's about 35 named ASC events, and an average dealer, if their analytics is configured properly, there'll be about 25 ASC events being used. That is, if they're tracking digital retailing, chat, phone calls, text, and lead forms, plus all of the activities that are going on the website. Now, when an event is important, prior to this week, if an event was important to the agency, to the dealer, or to Google Ads, you could mark little toggle bar to move an event as a conversion. So you could have 50 events going on your website, and you would just slide over. Hey, this one's important. That's a conversion. This is a conversion. This is a conversion. This is a conversion. I'm not really sure where the breakdown in education is, but those conversion events actually are fed or used by Google Ads to optimize certain campaigns. So if you turn on an event and make it a conversion, you're effectively saying to Google Ads, because Google Ads is connected to analytics, here are the signals that I want you to use to optimize my campaigns. Of course, in Google Ads, you can select which conversion events you want to use for service campaigns and which conversion events you want to use for sales campaigns. But when you turn them on, they are basically available to be read by Google Ads. And if you're not careful, what you turn on affects the bidding of Google Ads. Think about it as a perfect feedback loop. Dealers want more people to come to their website, to call them, chat with them, text with them, fill out a form, or show up in the showroom to buy a car. That's what dealers want. So wouldn't you want to turn those, what I would call hard conversions, on in Google Analytics as a conversion? That's correct. So we have a list of recommended ASC events to turn on as conversions. But what I am seeing is agencies and dealers turning on a lot of other really non-impactful events as conversions. And I think Google saw that as well. For example, someone might say, hey, if someone visits the hours and directions page, I'd like to see how many people do that. Well, there was no way to turn that on or make that important in a report. So people turn them on as conversions. Some people might want to know how many VDP views they're getting a month. So they turned a VDP view on as a conversion, which is suicidal. It is one of the stupidest, most common things that people do. A VDP view is not a conversion, but people were turning this on. So Google came out with a new vocabulary as key events. Key events are things that are important to you in analytics or your internal reporting, but you don't want those to be used for optimizing Google bidding. So they're called key events. So if you wanted to know how many SRP views you were getting a month, that could be a key event, turned on as a key event. If you want to know how many VDP views, that could be a key event. If you want to know how many people went to the service scheduler page, just went to the page, could be a key event. But it's not a conversion, because a conversion would mean that they completed a service appointment. So today, dealers have the ability to set certain events as key events for their internal reporting KPIs. And conversion events should be very carefully selected, because those are the signals you're sending back to Google. Now, what conversion events do I recommend? I wrote about this in my last LinkedIn newsletter, but let me just try to say at a high level. If someone fills out a lead form, yeah, that's a conversion. If somebody is chatting with you and is interested in buying a car and they give you their email or phone, that's a conversion. If someone's texting with you and are interested in booking a service appointment, they give you some information, or interested in a test drive and they give you your information and that goes into the CRM, that's a conversion. If somebody calls you, now this is very important, if they call you and are interested in purchasing a car or servicing their car or setting a service appointment or setting a test drive, that's a conversion. If somebody calls and just says, hey, is Bob working today? Yeah, Bob's working today. Do you want to talk to him? No, I just have to drop something off. That is not a conversion, because dealers want more people to service their cars or to buy a car. So I call these hard conversions. If somebody goes through a digital retailing tool and gets a trade vow and they want to trade in their car and they put in their name and email and phone, that's a conversion. If somebody wants to purchase a car online, they get all the way through the end and they get the payment right and they put in their information, that's a conversion. So I call these hard conversions because we get information from the consumer that allows our sales follow-up process to flourish. But you can't optimize Google Ads just on hard conversions because they're few and not everyone may be ready to give you their information, especially because Toyota, with their new online guidance, has said that you can't lead gate a form. For a digital retailing tool, you can't lead gate. That's a bad customer experience. And I agree with Toyota on this. So what else could we use? Is it a VDP view? No. Is it a visit to the hours and directions page? No. Is it a visit to the service page? No. But how about this? Someone is going through the digital retailing tool, they're playing around with lease or finance, and they're playing around with down payments, but don't give you their information. Do you know you can measure how many steps they go through in a digital retailing tool with an event called ASE Retail Process? How about someone who's working out a trade and they put in year, make, and model and mileage and the condition, and maybe they get disrupted, they don't finish it, and they don't give you their information? Do you know you could track every step of the trade tool with the event called ASC Retail Process? Those events have parameters so we could see what step they went to, what flow they were working on, and those consumers who are engaged with digital retailing or trade, for example, you could make a custom event to measure engagement and turn that on as a conversion. So for example, for our PCG digital clients, that event might be PCG underscore engaged underscore digital retailing. And I turn that on as a conversion. PCG underscore engaged underscore trade in shopper. I can turn that on. What about someone who goes to a VDP? Maybe they play a video, the walk around video, or they do the 360 spin. Do you know that there's an event that tracks when people use the media and use a 360 spin? I could use that event, the media event, to create an engaged shopper event, a custom event. It could be PCG underscore 360 photo viewer. And I can turn that on as a conversion event. Each one of these events can be weighted in importance. And by turning them on as a conversion, you could use them to optimize your sales and service campaigns. What about service? Great news. More service schedulers are supporting ASC events. In the month of April, Reynolds Service Scheduler, which is a very popular service schedule, is supporting ASC events. If somebody starts a service scheduling process but doesn't complete it, I can create an event, a custom event, PCG underscore service underscore appointment started, meaning they went through the steps, but somehow they didn't complete it. Maybe they didn't like the price. It's not Google Ads' job to sell something. It's to bring qualified shoppers for sales or service. You understand what I'm saying? Hard conversions, which would be lead forms, phone calls, chats, and texts, and then engagement events. Now, they can't be called ASC because they are not part of the official standards. So if your agency is Bluetooth Media, it could be BTM underscore engage underscore trade shopper, whatever. But the idea here is that the combination of hard conversions and engaged shopping events fully visible as your trade tools, as your service schedulers, as your digital retailing, as your chat and texting tools support the ASC standard, these parameters can be used to create engaged events. The combination of hard conversions and engaged events turned on as a conversion will fully transform your Google Ads campaigns. You will use sales, hard conversions, and sales engagement events to optimize your Google sales campaigns. You will use hard conversions for service and engaged service events to optimize your service. The great news is that most call tracking companies now, if you have the right package, when someone comes from an ad from Google, clicks on the website and calls, when the call is completed, they will analyze the call and they will put in ASC form submission sales, ASC form submission service to indicate this was a sales opportunity or a service opportunity. These hard conversion signals for the phone are so vitally important, yet so many dealers don't have voice signals turned on. That's why I said 8 out of 10 dealers don't have Google Ads set up properly. And they should know that the number one conversion channel for Google Ads is the phone. That's why you have to turn on call outcomes in GA4. But you also need to make sure your digital retailing tool, your chat tool, your finance application, your service scheduler, your coupon incentive tools are all sending ASC events so that you can optimize the thousands and thousands of dollars you're spending on Google Ads. So let's step back for a moment. Now in Google Analytics version 4, GA4, you can have conversion events, which should be used carefully and sparingly because they are your gateway to optimize the thousands of dollars you're spending on Google Ads. And then there's key events, things that are important maybe for the dealers or for KPIs, VDP views, SRP views, service page views, visits to a credit application. These are key events. They're not conversion events. And I'm glad that Google Analytics is now separating these two. Now, pause for a moment. What's the business impact to you for getting Google Ads set up properly? I'm estimating anywhere from 30 to 40% improvement in the efficiency of your Google Ads spend, which means effectively dealers are wasting 30 to 40% of their Google Ads budget by sending Google false friend signals that don't help Google's bidding engine. Dealers need clear advice and coaching on how to set up Google Analytics and Google Ads. And let me give you some resources. Follow up this video message. Number one, the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference. There it is. There it is over here. The Digital Marketing Strategy Conference coming up June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Every marketing manager in automotive retail should be there. Not only are we going to have workshops on GA4, we're going to have workshops on Google Ads optimization. We're going to be having a lot of conversation on first-party data management and feeding that into marketing automation platforms and CDPs. It's a data-centric world we're moving into. And you can go to digitalmarketingstrategies.org and get your tickets. If you purchase your tickets now, you get to sign up for 4 mentoring courses. One of those courses is on Google Ads. I'm doing a course on automotive CDPs, but we're also doing a course on social media advertising and modern lead handling processes, all going on now, March, April, May, going into June. It's time to get serious about getting your Google Analytics account set up properly and your Google Ads account set up properly. I'm currently working with some of the largest dealer groups in the country to clean up their Google Analytics. Why? Because for them, it's millions of dollars of ad optimization. But even for the single store, you could be spending $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month. Why allow waste to creep into your marketing budget? Why use the wrong signals to optimize Google Ads? Now, you may say, Brian, I have a great agency. And I know they're doing the right thing. I'm going to say it again. 8 out of 10 accounts that I inspect have the wrong conversion signals turned on. Yes, they have some of the right ones turned on, but they also have some of the wrong ones turned on. And very few Google Ads accounts do I see engaged events, which means in order to know what people are doing on your website, you have to be using tools that support ASE events. So if you have a trade tool that's not supporting ASE events, get a new trade tool. If you're using a digital retailing tool that doesn't support ASE events, you can't afford not to swap because it's your primary retailing tool. If you're using a chat or a texting platform that doesn't support ASE events, throw it out and replace it with one that supports ASE events. Why? Every click, every hover, every swipe, every conversion, every engaged action on your website should be recorded so that you can split these events into conversion events, which go to Google Ads, and key events, which can help power your internal Q&A reports or your internal benchmarking or month after month reports. I'm so glad that Google Ads separated key events from conversion events. I also want to challenge you that if you just feel that you're not getting the education that you want on how to set up Google Analytics or Google Ads, invest in sending someone out to DMSC and take advantage of these online courses now. Take advantage now and gear up for a great learning. It's the Davos of automotive technology on marketing, data management, sales process, customer communication. And I'm recording this video because I believe 8 out of 10 is a ridiculous number. And all I'm going to ask you to do is call up your agency, call in your marketing director, and say, in front of me right now, would you go into my Google Analytics account and show me, go into the admin section, and then click on the events that are marked as conversions. The events that should be marked as conversions should fall into 2 categories. Hard conversions, ASC form submission, ASC voice submission, ASC com submission by department. And then those engaged events. Someone who is engaged in a trade and stopped. Someone who is engaged in digital retailing and stopped. Someone who is engaged in filling out a service form. And what you're going to find is that none of these engagement events were set up. So they're using lazy things like VDP views or service page views or a finance page view or some other hard to justify event that never should be. Now those should be turned off as conversions and moved to key events. If you would like to speak with me about your Google Analytics setup, let me just put my email address in the chat here. It's Brian at brianpash.com. If you would like an audit of your Google Analytics account to see if it's set up properly, send me an email. If you would like to see if your Google Ads accounts are performing based on these recommendations, shoot me an email. But more importantly, the best minds, the smartest people who understand Google Analytics will be at DMSC to help dealers. The smartest people who are doing first-party data management, identity resolution, marketing activation, marketing automation will be at DMSC. The people who are working with AI tools to create better communication, better customer experience, we're going to be at DMSC. So you can go to conferences that talk about the basics once again, or you can go to where the leaders are leading the industry forward. That's the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference. Take a look at the sponsors. Many of them have discount tickets or free tickets to give you. So go to digitalmarketingstrategies.org. I hope you found this video useful. Please share it on social media. Just take a moment right now and share it with your network on X or LinkedIn or Meta, wherever you're watching this. Share it with your friends, share it with your 20 groups. There is a difference now between conversion events and key events. And if you follow my recommendations for conversion events, hard conversions plus engaged shopper activities, the combination of those two fed into Google Ads will supercharge Google's bidding engine. You will get more quality and less crap, more quality and more sales opportunities for vehicles or service. I think that's what all dealers want. So why keep your head in the sand? Why trust that Google Analytics is set up properly? You should have key events and conversion events, and then you should make sure with your agency which conversion events are used for sales campaigns and which conversion events are used for service campaigns. You owe it to yourself. It is the right thing to do. And again, if you have any questions, reach out to me, Brian at brianpash.com. That's all for now. I have a few more meetings to jump into. I appreciate the opportunity to educate and encourage you to do more with your marketing dollars to help you sell more cars in a digital age. If you found this video helpful, would you put some comments? If you don't agree, put in some comments. But I'm working with some really smart dealer groups who take the time to get things set up right. And we're seeing some amazing results. It's time everyone see those type of same results. Have a good day, and I hope to see you in Austin at DMSC June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Take care.